sir. So you tried out for Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
So you had like a tryout.
Yeah.
So they determined, yeah, we want you to come.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to meet Big John, the legend.
Yeah.
And so you said it was Big John that said we want you, not JT3.
Yeah.
Amazing,
Mm-hmm. Like
amazing,
JT3, he walked out the gym.
really.
Yeah.
So Big John was really running shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's something. That's something. Wow, wow.
Mm.
All right, so what? How did you get to make your decision?
Right.
When you
So
finally made your decision, what
yeah.
was that process?
So I attended the Georgetown first because mind you, I said that was my number one option. I wanted to really go there. But for
Mm-hmm.
me in my mind, like I was ready to hoop. Like I felt like I was ready for the college level. I wasn't willing to do another year of high school. Like I feel like my senior year, I ended on the bang. We didn't get the championship, but playing in both of the league championships, I was content with what we did. We definitely overachieved for that team that we had. So
Mm-hmm.
I was cool, and I had trusted in my abilities. So went there. They said that they wanted me, but no, we got a spot. So on to the next. I go to George Washington, and at the time their shooting guard just entered the portal, so they didn't have like an incoming two man. They just had a freshman that was also coming in that I guess was supposed to fill that spot, and so that's what they told me. They told me they had a spot at shooting guard. Didn't really promise me it, but he told me he had a spot, and so I took that as an opportunity. They got a shooting guard spot at the Division I program. They haven't been good in a long time, but that ain't stopped me. It's still I'm getting education at one of the premier schools in the world. Still getting to play Division I basketball, and I'm close to home. So they didn't even see me try out. They didn't work me out of nothing. They just offered me the scholarship, and
Okay,
I
okay.
said, "Yeah, let's go." So, mind you, that summer, everything in college. I'm not gonna speak for every college, but for all the colleges I've been to, we always got that June summer session.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about May, end of May. I think Raw's birthday just had happened, and his birthday on the 20th. So it's around like the last 2 weeks of May.
Mm-hmm.
The school was starting in 2 weeks, and it's like I don't know what to expect. Like I had no clue going into a whole new year. At this time, the head coach there, this was going to be his first year as like actual head coach because he had to step in. He was interim head coach, so all new systems, all new everything, like starting from scratch. And once I got to that campus, I took over that shooting guard spot, like that work that I had put in from, what I'm saying, years past,
Yeah.
and that work that I was putting in for that summer, I was prepared for that moment. So, yeah.
So now you're at G Dub,
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes from home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus the what was it? What's that?
Tennessee.
10, 15 hours?
Yeah.
What was that drive? What would that drive have been like a 10-hour drive or
Yeah,
something?
10, 15. I'm not sure the exact, but it was between 10 to 15.
Yeah. Much
Easy.
much easier for mom and dad and everybody
Right.
else to come watch you play.
Yep.
Was that a sense of relief for you, or it didn't matter where you was playing at?
It didn't matter because I was already content with me going to Tennessee and them not coming to watch me play.
Yeah.
So for me, like location really didn't matter. And
Yeah.
I didn't have a preference to be home. Like that was kind of why I chose Chattanooga in the first place because I wanted to like embrace being uncomfortable, getting away, like getting out of my surroundings. So, but I mean, it still played out because I was 45 minutes away, but I didn't come home as much. So I kind of was in DC all year round. I would come home on weekends, maybe go to an event, but other than that, I'm saying I spent most of my time in DC.
Okay. So what's the adjustment? What's the adjustment like? From high school to college,
right?
For an athlete.
So first, you got a lot of more free time on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. It's like your schedule. It's not like you going to school at 7:00 and getting out at 3:00 and you got practice at 5. Nah, it ain't like that. So you got your 2 to 3 classes. As a freshman, you're usually going to have maybe 3 classes a day. One may be at night, but you're going to have an early morning class, another class after that. Then you got practice. No matter if you tired from practice, no matter if you tired from classes, no matter if you tired from the day before, it don't matter. When you step onto that court when you step onto that weight room or that court, they're expecting you to be ready. Like 110%, no matter what you're going on in your day. Remove that. When you on that court, give it 120%, and that was a standard. But really, it was just you have a lot more free time, and in that free time, you have to be precise with what you're doing. If your intent is to get better at being a sport because you have that free time, or you go into the gym extra because when you at these programs, you have gym time. Like you'll be able to get into the gym. So what are you doing with it? Are you getting into the gym extra? Do you got to work on certain things? Or do you need to go talk to the coach? Do you need to watch film extra? Like really, you have to at this level. It's different than high school because they're not going to baby you, right? They're going to make you. If you want to get better, it has to be something on your end because they brought you here because you're supposed to perform.
Right.
Now, what we're gonna do for the team portion to make sure y'all ready and our systems are in place, but everything else is on you. All that extra work to make sure you know the plays. What days do I got to be in class? Like everything ties into the overall picture of playing that basketball. But your free time and the time that you have can either hurt or benefit you on the court.
Right.
So that was like my main lesson. And then the second thing is the work will pay off. That was like my main adjustment. Like, because even when I was in high school, I couldn't really shoot. Like I hit shots, but I really wasn't a shooter at the time. So like my main focus was becoming that shooting guard role and having to hit shots. And they gave me my role early on. They told me, okay, we want you to be a shooting guard. And at times when I wasn't scoring, they let me know, we brought you here for this job because that's what it is, really a job. They're paying for you to come there.
Yeah.
You ain't doing your job well. Like they let you know.
Right.
And for me, I had to really step into that and like really like take my work ethic to another level because I had a roommate that's a workaholic. I'm talking about wake up 6 in the morning because we had 24-hour access. Wake up 6 in the morning, he in there for 2 hours. Then he go to his 2 classes, got practice. He shoot after practice. He got study hall after that. He work out again. He might come to the gym at 11 or 12 just to shoot free throws. So like seeing that, I had to understand, okay, I have this free time. What's that work ethic look like that I'm actually putting in? Because I see what they're doing. I see what guys this level is doing. Right. So that was another jump in my game that I have to put in more work than I'm already doing right now.
Yeah, that's what's up. So as far as the talent, what did you see in the difference in talent from the high school level to just being around your teammates at GW? Right. Not even get to play a game yet. Just your team that you're gonna go to war with.
Talent wise, if you think about it at the Division I level, majority of the players on that team was the guy on their high school squad, right? So at the high school level, you may have 2, 3 alphas, maybe. The rest of them are role players, right?
Right.
In college, it's the same thing, but everybody is in shape. Everybody can play. Everybody's going to have an impact at that level. So you have to bring it every day or you're going to get your ass bust, frankly.
Right.
It was a big skill jump because it's consistency all around. Like where you coming from in high school, if you at that level, like I said, you one of those 2 or 3 guys. You step on there at a freshman, you may not be the 5th, 6th guy.
Right.
That's the jump because everybody at that level is at that level for a reason.
Yeah. So how was your confidence level? I mean, I know you. I know you coming with utmost confidence, but just coming in there knowing, this everybody around me can go.
Right.
What's your motivation at that point? How are you feeling about your game and what you can bring to
it? So I think at that time I really understood that like my main asset was that I just knew how to win. Like I can play basketball. I had a good skill set, but I understand like how to actually win a basketball game. So I feel like that was kind of something different that I brought. And then also it was just the fact that I'm gonna compete no matter if you're a senior, junior, if you got league aspiration, it don't matter. Like no man put fear in my heart. So that was my motto. Like from day one, I'm going to compete. And then 3, I think what kind of helped me out was that I knew for a fact that I could actually get on the court because there's an opportunity in a spot that's open that needs to be filled. I just got to compete and not back down from it. Show up every day, be consistent with what I'm doing, and I can actually like step onto the court consistently, which I did.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I guess freshman year, did you start right away?
Yeah.
So you started right from game 1. Then what was your I ain't take no notes because I know you. So what was your game point average your freshman year?
Freshman year, I think I averaged 9.6 points, and I'm trying to think. 9.6. I think I was shooting about 40 from 2, 36 from 3. But I didn't lead in scoring because that my freshman year we had, as y'all may know, Yuta Watanabe.
Yes, sir.
Played with the Brooklyn Nets. He was on that team, so I was second fiddle to him. That was his team at the time. So yeah, I would say when we really followed suit with him, like that really was his team. So
yeah.
I think towards the conference season, I was the second leading scorer in conference for our team.
Okay.
I think I was third leading scorer. I think we kind of had Yuta was like the highest, and then we had like some juniors that was averaging probably like 12, 13.
Yeah.
But I think I averaged like 9 my freshman year.
Now I thought I had my clip, but I didn't get it set up for this. But you know the clip I'm talking about. I sent it to you a little earlier. The Florida State game.
Yeah.
So I remember. I think at that time I was working overnight. So I usually slept that time of day because it was like a 7-8 o'clock game or something.
Right.
So I got up early just to watch the game. So I just remember sitting there watching the game. And it's a regular game.
Right.
Just regular up back and forth. But y'all competing.
Yeah.
Y'all was the underdog, of course, and y'all playing the ACC school, whatever.
Right.
Y'all competing. And then you came down there, man. Man, you dunked on that boy. He was about 6'8".
Nah, that was a footer.
He was 7 foot?
Yeah, he was a footer. They had him listed as a footer. He really was like 6'10", 6'11", but they had him listed as a footer.
But when you took off, now I'm sitting there like, I know he's not great trying to dunk on this boy. But you had him.
Yeah.
And man, when you put that thing down, man, I'm in the house jumping around like, oh my God. We didn't ride. You know what I'm saying? My man didn't, and the announcers were going crazy.
Right.
And then you got the second one, the putback.
Yep.
And they was like, man, this kid Terry Nolan is a player. You know what I'm saying? But they like, he playing with no fear.
Right.
I said, man, y'all just don't know.
Yeah.
This is who he is. You know what I'm saying? This is who he is. He's been playing like that since he was 10.
Right.
you know? Well, take me back to that game.
To that game.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you on is it ESPN? I know it was a national game.
That was ESPN. Yeah, that made Sports Center too.
Yeah,
that was Sports Center number 2 that year. I remember that.
Take me back.
Yeah.
Take me back to that. What's your mindset going into that game?
Right. So first, that's like the third game of the season. Right. So we coming off. I think we lost. No, we won the first one. I think we played Howard. Lost the second one. Then we go into Florida State. So for me, it's like I don't know what to expect. I just know this is probably one of the, I don't know my career is going to be. It's one of the biggest games that we have listed on our schedule right now. So I already had it circled on my schedule. ACC, know it's going to be on ESPN, big crowd. I get to test my skills out. So I'm looking forward to it. So we come into the game, and I ain't going to lie, off rip, I haven't experienced that atmosphere. So I'm looking, I'm just like I'm here. So it took me a little bit, to get let the butterflies go and let the jitters, set out. So we get in the game, and around like the 2-3 minute mark, like I settled in and just it was calm. Like it was just a breath of fresh air. And I think I had like 2 layups in a row, a mid-range, and I kind of started like stringing them together, and I was going through the rhythm of the game. And this was like the second transition that I literally caught that ball on the same wing. Because if you go back and watch the game, the play before I caught her on that same wing, I just went up and did an up and under layup. So the next time I catch it on the same thing, I pump fake, the same head fake that you talked about. He jumped, and I get right down to my centerpiece, the 1-2, and I cock it back. He jumps, but he doesn't think that I'm actually gonna, try to dunk the ball. So he just jumped like that. But now I got the good lift, and nobody touched me. Boom, and dunked it. But the crazy thing about it, I had no time to celebrate. They took the ball out so quick. So when I dunked it, I'm like, did I just do that? Like I flexed a little bit, but I'm like, what just happened just now?
I was losing it, man. I'm jumping around in the room. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't know the boy was 7 feet. I knew he was big. I always thought he was like 6'8", 6'9". But I didn't know they were listing him as a 7-footer. But I was and then when you look back at it, I mean, and you got it clean.
Yeah.
You was over top of him. Like you say, he probably didn't probably didn't think you was really even gonna get up on him like that.
Yeah.
And you got over top of that boy, bam! I was like, oh my god,
Man.
yeah, we here now, baby.
Yep.
So then you got the putback.
That was in the second half.
That was the second half. Yeah, you got the putback in the second half, a little jump shot. But it's like, because you watch that back and you sitting in the corner,
right?
You know what I'm saying? And you open in the corner, he probably could have kicked it to you for the shot. But as soon as he let the ball go,
you took sprinting.
Off. You took off, man. And I mean, it all just, and then it was like a high.
Yeah.
It wasn't one that came right or left. It just went straight in the air.
Yeah.
And he just came over, bam.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So you got some eyes on you that game.
Yeah, I had 18 that game too.
Yeah, you got some eyes on you that game.
Right.
So you put people on notice, and that was before y'all conference season.
Yeah.
So you going into conference. So I know your confidence got to be sky high.
Yeah, I was feeling good.
Conference play. How did you feel going into your season?
Into conference?
Yeah.
I felt good because, like you said, I kind of was starting to find my stride. Like I had solidified my position as that starting two guard, which was my goal. So I accomplished that. And because I wasn't on nobody's radar coming in the first place. Yeah. Like everybody just tried to always key in on Yuta, which was our number one scorer. So they always put the best defender on him. The second best defender was on our point guard, which means the third best defender on the team guard me.
Yeah, you frying him.
I'm frying him. So like that was literally like how I was able to get buckets, because everybody kind of like didn't think that a freshman was going to come in and hoop. Right, and so going into that conference season, it was the same game plan. Like it isn't the NBA playoffs where when you get into conference season, like everything is different, but like everything picks up. Whether it's the scouts, the defensive schemes, trying to take away your number 1, 2, 3 options, like everything picks up. So teams are really keying on Yuta on a day-to-day basis. So he's looking for people to step up. And that was kind of the role that I took. Hence why I was like the second leading scorer during that conference season. So he commuted that too. He was a great leader. He already told me that during this conference is a different beast, that I really just going to have to rise to the occasion. There's going to be a bigger role expected of me. Okay. So I was just ready for it.
Yeah. So your freshman year, y'all, what was y'all? Did y'all get to how did y'all do in the conference tournament?
We won the first game, and I think we lost in the semifinals. I think we lost that second game.
Okay. All right. And so was no other postseason after that?
Nah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then so you're going into that second year. So what was kind of the makeup? Now I remember they had big expectations for you.
Yeah.
Going into your second year, because that's when the guys came up here and they filmed us. They filmed us and they was like, we're gonna really, Terry gonna really be the focus of the team this year, and we do some things with them. So what kind of happened, during your second year at GW?
So just like you saying, like second year, after coming off that first year with the same coach, like Yuta's leaving, he's going to the NBA. Our point guard just entered the transfer portal. Our forward man just entered the transfer portal that started. So it's like, and our fifth man, he got injured. So he was already going to be out for the first half of the season. So me coming in, I'm thinking, all right, this is about to be my sophomore season, my breakout season, team about to revolve around me, how the offense revolved around Yuta. The coach had other plans. He had brought in another guard and kind of ran like the offense around him, it didn't really fit the style of the team. Kind of like how my junior year was in high school. It was kind of like similar situation. Like, we got the same coach, but there's a whole new offense, whole new players now, because we're bringing in 2, 3 transfer portal guys that's coming into play. So everything was a little bit different, and he just had kind of different plans. And because of it, this was kind of when I was young and like understanding the politics of the games, I kind of let that also get in the way of like business. And so because I'm knowing that, all right, I'm deserving, I'm working 10 times harder than this person that you brought in. My stats is better than this person that you brought in, but yet everything is being ran through him. So we kind of clashed a little bit. And I think us clashing and just how the culture was during my sophomore year, it was a big divide in the team. Like the players was over here, the coaches was over here, and there was no real camaraderie. So that year, it was the worst year that I had in basketball, honestly. Like I think we finished 9-27, but more importantly, like when you was talking about it earlier, when I play basketball, I'm gonna be serious, I'm gonna get my work in, but I gotta have fun with it. Like
Yeah.
it's therapy. And I think that sophomore year, like he deflated the fun out of the game for me. I think
Yeah.
I was about to hang it up, honestly.
Yeah, because
I was
I
about to hang it
remember
up.
I remember coming to a couple games that year,
Mm-hmm.
and after the game we would all go downstairs, just talk to y'all whatever after the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I just remember it was just a little weird energy because I was down there talking to your dad.
Yeah.
He was introducing me to people, uh, whatever, and then the
Yeah.
coach came out of the little door y'all used to come out. He just bolted out.
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And your father, Big Terry, was like, "Damn, that's weird. That's strange." He usually say something to somebody. He usually speak.
Yeah.
He didn't say nothing to nobody. He just got up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember when you came out, after he kind of asked you, and you was kind of like, "Man,
Yeah.
he on some little girl stuff or something." You said, Well, I just found that a little weird.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured, there's probably something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Some inner stuff.
Yeah.
But so after your sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
you hit the portal.
Yeah.
So what was the deciding factor in you jumping into that transfer portal?
Right. Well, one for me, I think it was kind of 2-3 things. One, because how draining that year was because I poured so much into it and I didn't see the returns that I guess I expected, and how the year went, like it sucked the life out of me. So I really wanted to be done with it. But my parents was encouraging me, like, nah, you got to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, kept saying, like, we don't start something and then finish it. We got to get this degree. And so they kind of painted that big picture for me. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. But, like, because of this last year, I just need a break. Like, I don't want to play right now. I want to just work on my game again, because when I come back, like, I got to be ready. Like, I need a mental break from it. So going into the portal at that time, I was really just trying to find a place to really, like, spend a year to really develop my game, get my mental back, really fall back in love with the game, and opening up my recruitment. I had some good offers coming out. I had Clemson that hit me up. Towson was back in the mix. Not Georgetown. What school is it? Penn State was in the mix. There's another Butler. Oh, Butler. There we go. Butler was hitting me up.
Big East.
And I was considering Butler a little bit, but like I didn't take any visits, any of that like early on, because I was just like, I don't really want to go through the process again. Like it was draining. So on a random like Thursday, my AAU coach at the time, Coach James, he called me or texted me and was like, "Yo, Bradley's interested in you." I'm like, I don't know what Bradley is. I never heard of Bradley, never seen him, none of that, right? So he's like, "Yeah, do some research." So I did some research. They had literally just won their year. They won their conference, went to the tournament, played Michigan. I think they lost by like 6, but I looked at like how they played consistently, and it kind of fit my style. They were scrappy. They was defensive minded. Offensively, like if you had an open shot, shoot it, but play to your strengths. And that was kind of something that I kind of seen, still not knowing much about the like coaches and nothing like that. But that was kind of some of the stuff I did research wise on my end. And I talked to the head coach, and he's like, "Yeah, like come on, like come take a visit. We'll fly you out whenever you're ready." I'm like, "All right." I didn't say a date, and he texted me. He was like, "You good to come out tomorrow?" I'm like, "Oh, they want me." I said, "Yeah, we can set it up." So they fly me, my mom, and my pops out there, and I just love it from the jump. Like they go through how they workouts, their lift, and I'm talking to everybody, and the plans are sounding good. I'm talking with the strength coach. He's talking about bulking me up, you know what I'm saying, improving my game, how it can help take it to the next level. The coaches, like their systems, their philosophies, how they practice, how they prepare, how they play, the style, everything. And then what got me at the end was the coach told me, he was like, "I want you here, but I'm never going to promise you that you're going to play ever. Like all that is determined on you. If you put the work in and you showing how to practice, then you'll play. But if not, like I'm just bringing you here because I think that you can help, but that's all that it is. You got to show me that you actually can help." And I feel like when I heard that advice, like nobody was giving me anything. He was going to make me work for it. And that was kind of the road that I was trying to take, like just trying to work and really just build back into it. And I fell in love right there with it.
So that was the only trip you took?
Yep, the only trip I took was Bradley, and I committed. Usually, when I commit, like I talk to my people's, like, yeah, I'm gonna go here. When we if you haven't been on like a recruitment trip, it's like maybe 2-3 days. You talk to admissions, talk to the strength coach, you go out with the fam, go out and get something to eat. But at the end of it, right before you get on your flight, they do like the big pitch for you. Like they show you how you would actually fit in a system. They show you why they want you. They highlight what they did in the past, what they can do for you, all that stuff. Do your big pitch. So they do that, and they was like, anything, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come in here. Didn't even tell my peoples that I was finna, go here. So I tell them, my mom look at me like, what? She like, talk to me outside right fast. But yeah, so that was the only visit I took, and I committed on the visit.
All right. So that was the year you set out.
Mm-hmm.
When you went there the first year, you set out that year.
Yeah.
So what was that year like? Not being
Right.
able to play.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of are you chomping at the bit? Like, man, I want to
Yeah.
be here, or just I'm just gonna wait my turn. Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
your mindset?
I think it was really, for me, sitting out is something that I kind of actually wanted to do. Like I really just
Mhm.
wanted to spend a year to just really lock in on my craft.
Yeah.
And at first I didn't have the itch to play. Like I really didn't. But
Mhm.
seeing, because our practices was literally like games. That's how hard we competed. Like
Yeah.
we got 2-hour practices, but they're high intensity. And for at least 30 to 40 minutes, we're playing full court like it's a full game. That's routine for us. So I'm kind of getting my playing itch out because I'm on a scout team playing against the starters on the opposite team. But at this time, it's me and my boy Kev, and we both two guards. Like if you put us together, and how we was, because when you on a scout team, you got all the confidence. Like, you ain't about to play, so
Yeah.
it's like you free.
Yeah.
So every day feels like a practice. So I'm kind of getting that itch out. But towards like the end, when things started really picking up and we started actually winning, I'm like, I see it, and I'm winning. I understand if we're winning together, but man, I want to be out there and be a part of it.
Yeah.
And then winning, because we won the our conference tournament that year, so we were
Mhm.
actually going to go to the NCAA tournament. So that kind of capped everything off. And then the next day we found out that we couldn't
COVID.
do it because of COVID.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
So now that's an interesting, just living through that time
Mm-hmm.
in any walk of life.
Right.
People lives change
Mm-hmm.
dramatically like overnight.
Right.
You go from, I know I went from, going to work every day to now I'm working from home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you kind of stuck in your house. You don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm with my family.
Mm-hmm.
You are hundreds of miles away,
Yeah.
away from your family at this time with this
Mm-hmm.
uncertainty. You don't know if this thing gonna kill us.
Yeah.
We don't really know what's going on with COVID. How
Mm-hmm.
how how was that for you being away, from home during that time with the uncertainty in the world, like
Right.
with the disease and whatever?
It was hard because being home away, the first thing you want to do is, all right, let me hop on a flight. Let me go to my people's, because you feel comfort when you're around people that like,
Yeah.
oh, we all safe together. But there was no flights coming back. School wasn't shut down yet, so it was like I had to stay there. It was scary because you're not really knowing the severity of things in the world, but you just seeing rates just keep climb over and over and over again. Things start to shut down,
Yeah.
and it's like you really out here by yourself. You ain't got your mom, your dad to comfort you, to cuddle you, like none of that. Like you really got to be out here on your own.
Yeah.
And so at first it was scary, you know what I'm saying, just being by yourself. And then, but you got to adapt. Like you really got to be like, all right, these are the circumstances that I'm living in. So I just really just got to, what I'm saying, make the best of it. But it definitely was easier because a couple of the guys, they stayed up there with me. Like my roommate Kev, he stayed up there with me. So it helped having people, what I'm saying, close to you that you already spent time with to be up there with you, but not having your family, it was a little different and difficult.
So one thing that's during that year,
Mm-hmm.
during that summer, now I'm watching, I'm watching on your social medias and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You became an activist.
Yes, sir.
You did a little activism there,
Yeah.
and I guess that was with the George Floyd stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of tell me about that process for you. What was going on the campus out there,
Mm-hmm.
and what made you step into that role, that
Right.
leadership role?
So what was going on in the campus there was nothing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that is what made me step into the role, because all the outrage that was going on in the world about like George Floyd, and I've been seeing like Nike say something and this program say something, this coach say something. But when I was there and everything was happening, the university wasn't saying much about it. My head coach wasn't saying nothing about it. So like I felt compelled to actually do something because nothing was being done. And what I really did was I talked to my coaches. I'm like, listen, like George Floyd just passed away. This is the severity of it, like for our people. And the players that you have on your team, 85% of them are black. So as a white male, I felt like you had to address this with the team to at least, you know what I'm saying, say something, you know what I'm saying? Because it's so much outrage and confusion and chaos in the world. We looking for leadership right now, but we don't have it. So he didn't really take that initiative. So I did. I seen on Twitter that people was doing peaceful protests, spreading the word about how we can stop it. And I felt like, you know what I'm saying, with the platform that I had and what was going on, if I asked for something and I wanted to do something like that, like the school would have my back. And they actually did. So I talked to the coach. I told him, look, I want to have a protest. I can arrange the details. And what we did was we started on like our campus and then we walked all the way down to our gym. Our gym is probably like a mile walk. And we had a great turnout, probably like 500 to 600 people walking a mile. And then once we got to our local gym, that's when I kind of gave a speech. And I really was just telling people that, one, you know, if this is going to keep happening in our world, we need to do something to change about it. Like, and I was giving them actionable steps to actually to change, like get educated on people that's in the office, people that is like on top of like the police reports. Like, one, you got to educate yourselves because once you educate yourselves, it bleeds out ignorance.
Right.
And that was my main thing. And the second was that, like, we're the youth right now, my age group, my age bracket, like we have to vote. We're the majority. And if majority of us isn't voting, now we're leaving our lives and our, you know, our laws and stuff like that up to the older generation. So I felt like it was me trying to just take initiative for like my people, like saying we got to really educate ourselves and do something to like try to prevent this to continuously keep happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like you say, just being here, you know, just watching you, you know, proud of you.
Right.
Just because you see the growth. You see, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this little 10-year-old kid that I remember, man, he turned into a young man, you know, mature, you know, expressing the leadership off the court. You know, I know what you can do on the court.
Right.
But to see you, you know, take that kind of initiative again, and I'm just following your social. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know what it's like on the ground, but I'm following your social media and just seeing what you're doing. Man, I was proud of you, you know, to see you with the bullhorn. I'm like, man, man. So, you know, but you know, those times call for those type of things.
Right.
You know, and you know, I've always asked you, you know, and I kind of see it in you. You always, even when we had the team at the Boys and Girls Club, when y'all would, you know, you and Ross and them played, you were like, Coach, can I coach Darian and them?
Yeah.
So you always had the leadership in you.
Right.
You know, that you was going to end up that route. I figured, you know, once it's all over, you know, if you don't stick to basketball and become a coach, you know, you'll be in leadership some kind of way.
Right.
You know, this is how you are. So, you know, you get through that. And so now you're going into
senior
year, which is your junior year, as far as basketball is concerned.
Yep.
You know, you had the red shirt. I mean, you had your transfer year, so you had to sit out. So now when you're coming back, you know, all right, I'm getting ready. I'm gonna be playing this year. What is your mindset going into that year?
Yeah.
You know, when you know you're going to be on the court again.
Right. So for me, especially coming from the first 2 years when I played, I was used to, okay, I have a game. I go check social media. 9 times out of 10, my name on social media because I got a highlight or a certain play. People texting me, DMing me. When you sit out, you really ain't got that. So it's like, one, coming out, I know that some people forgot about me. So when it was my time to shine, I wanted to like remind people like, yeah, I'm still here. So like that was my main focus, like going into that year. And then 2, with me having that sit out year, like I really got to really work on my craft. And like I've been just bottling it up, not really showing it to the world for a whole year. So now I'm ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that was like my main focus, really going into that's senior season there.
Now, the other thing coming off, you know, we still in COVID protocol. Y'all playing in empty gyms.
Empty gyms.
So what is that like?
That's different. Like that's a complete different thing. I'm talking about empty gyms, nobody in there. You just hooping. This took us back to the old days. It really made you appreciate like when you played with nobody there, like because no family can come out there. But now you actually are seeing like who's hooping, who's not just feeding off the crowd energy. Like because that plays a part. Like that home court advantage that was gone out the window that year. out the window. And then another thing during the COVID was guys on a team, if you got a positive, you out the lineup.
Oh yeah.
So certain games you may be playing with 7 people and 4 of your starters are out.
Right.
Like, so it was a lot of ups and downs in that season. But like I said, my mentality was to kill. So we had that first game. It was an Xavier Invitational tournament. At that time, Xavier, they allow actually people in the gym. So like playing, like that was probably like the only 3 games that we had people at the gym.
Okay.
But we played Toledo first game, and I got the buzzer beater layup to win the game. Appeared on ESPN the first game sitting out. So it was like that for me. That was great. But then the humbling experience was that next game so we were playing Xavier at this time. I think they're ranked like 18, 16 around that area. We get them to within like 2 points, right? I come down, hit a tough like pump fake, one dribble, pump fake, shot 3, hit it, super contest in the hand. Yeah. We go up. It's like 4 or 5 seconds left. They come down, hit a crazy layup. 2 seconds left on the clock. We got the ball in front of our bench. I get fouled with no time on the clock. Go to the free throw line. We down 1. I missed the front end of the 1-and-1. We lose the game.
So now, so what's the mindset after that?
You got to lock back in because we got another game on the next day. So it's like, this is literally like good for kids to hear this because on one day you on ESPN for hitting the game with a shot. The next day you hold your head low because you just missed the game with a shot. So it's like you got to be able to be comfortable with taking it and making it.
Right.
But the mentality was really like, you know what I'm saying? I got to move on to the next game. I can't, you know what I'm saying? We got a whole season ahead of us. If I just lay my hat on what I did in the past, like nobody care about that. They ain't worry about that. If you just hit a buzzer beater, we got a whole nother game to go on. So it really was just like reset.
And you know, as a coach, that's one of the toughest things with young kids is you got to get to the next play.
Right.
You got to get to the next play. You can't, if you miss a layup, you got to get to the next. You can't get stuck in that moment.
Yep.
Because the game haven't stopped. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, you got to play to the whistle or the buzzer.
Yeah.
Unless you hear a whistle or the buzzer going off, you should be 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
You know, going. You got to go. And it's tough. It's the toughest thing that I find with younger kids because some of it's passion. They want to be so successful that when they messing up, they sulk in it and they kind of get stuck in that moment.
Right.
And then sometimes it's just kids just being kids. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily passion, but you know, sometimes people don't want to see people see them fail.
Right.
So it's that the crowd is watching me. I just messed up. And he's thinking about everything but the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like you say, in that moment, it's all about getting back, staying locked in. You know, and then like that's what makes great players great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that, you know, I'll miss 25 shots in a row, but the 26 and 27, you know what I'm saying? You just gonna keep shooting. You're not gonna stop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, like you said, you the hero one game, and the next minute you the GOAT.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's your fault.
Right.
But you know, you got a whole season to play. So it's just locked back in.
Yep.
So, you know, with respect to the rest of the season, how did the rest of the season go for you? Now, I go ahead. I'll go ahead. I'm gonna let you say it. I'll tell you about something that I saw.
Yeah. So rest of the season for me, while I was hooping, it was going great. Like that was for me, that was the most efficient year that I would say that I could have, like that I recorded my stats wise, because just sitting in that year, one, I was really able to like build my body up. So like on the court, I was able to get to my spots. But two, the system that they have you go through is a lot of playing on balance, getting to your spot, using your body to like get into the paint, elevate over your defenders. And so being like sitting out for a year and going through that type of training, but also sitting out and just watching the game go for a whole season, you got a different perspective on the game, how you can score, what you can do. So for the rest of the season, for me, I had some ups and downs as far as like, you know, scoring, but like the team, once we started to click, boom, had to sit out the rest of the year. So boom. So we're about to play Missouri State. This is after a Valparaiso game where we probably have the best game of our season. Like we beat Valparaiso by like 25. I think we shot 50% from 2 that game, 45 from 3. Great, like we're about to click. And this is like the time of the years where if you looked at the trajectory of all of each teams that won a championship, because we were projected to three-peat, this is where they kind of caught fire every year. And it was literally like how his system worked. Like you don't want to be playing your best basketball in January. Nah, you want to wait to that February mark. Oh, yeah, now we starting to really catch stride because you're going into March. Yeah. So right before we catch stride, we had a Missouri State trip, right? Got the private jet to the game, fly out to Missouri State. We played them, I think, on like a Sunday. So on a Saturday, we got downtime. Remember the theme, downtime. Whatever you do in your downtime could either help you or break you in college, right? Downtime. Some guys call some ladies over, right? Boom. They call me into the room. I'm in the room. They see my face. I interact with people. I leave back out, go to my room, right? The next day, we got a game. So you go through your game routine. You know, you wake up in the morning, go to shoot around, come back, eat breakfast, watch film, get ready to go to the game. So this is probably like an hour before the game starts. I get a knock at my door. Coach want to see you. What Coach want to see me for?
Right.
He called me up. Yeah, I need to know what happened. So I'm looking at him confused, like, what you mean what happened? I need to know what happened. Like, your name came up or something. I got to know what happened. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, all right, well, since you don't know, your name came up in a police report that you were in a room last night where they reported a sexual assault. So I'm thinking, like, I know for a fact I didn't do anything. Right. So I'm like, okay, I was in the room, but I didn't touch a person. I didn't do anything. The fact that I was in the room doesn't matter if you did anything or not. You were in the room.
Right.
So for me, because my name was in the police report, I had to sit out February to the rest of the season.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, 3 guys, our name came up on the police report. All of us got cleared for everything, all accusations. But that's just going into that theme of if you're not being cognitive of your time, it can make or break you. Right. Yeah, and just being in a room and being in association with things that is outside of yourself, it's going to hurt you. And if it has a chance to hurt you, it will.
Yeah, I remember that whole situation, you know, kind of was a damper on that year because you were only there. You only played the 1 year, right?
Yep.
So the one highlight I remember from that, because I watched a couple of the games. I remember watching a couple of the games on, TV or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the one game, and I had the clip of it where, I guess it was a tight game, and you talking to the camera, you talking to the camera, and you talking.
Yeah.
But I remember you coming out of the huddle, and you say, "This the game. This for the game right here.
Yeah.
This for game. You call the game. You're looking at the camera. You calling game.
Yep.
And then, so what did you was it a dunk or was it a shot you hit?
It was a dunk. So the play, so that whole game they kept trying to deny me the ball. Yeah. So what we did was pass it on the inbound, swing to the big man. And our big man Rink, he going to Nebraska now, but that boy can pass. Yeah. So I set it up, ball, right to the top. He's overplaying me, backdoor cut, dunk the ball. Like I already knew it was going to be happening. And so if you look after that,
what'd you do after that?
After that, I'm walking, I see the camera again. I said, I told you it was game.
Yeah, and I think I posted that thing. I had it, and it's like, man, I told you, man. I was look at my guy out there calling game, man. But this like this, sitting in my seat. Again, you gotta think. I've seen you as a 10-year-old,
right?
You know what I'm saying? To see you on that stage. Playing as well as you were, man, it just did wonders for me. This felt great. Even I was even a small part of it,
right?
You know what I'm saying? To see you at one level and to see you rise to the next level was I'm like that with you all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'll always tell you, how right now, I'll take you and give me 4 other guys, but if I got T Nolan on my squad, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so. You get your 1 year at Bradley. What was the decision in jumping back into the portal versus staying at Bradley for your last year?
Yeah, so it was kind of 2 main factors, right? So, mind you, I said like after all that situation, I was cleared of everything. Never got charged anything, right? Like I didn't like how the university handled the entire situation. because on my end, yes, I was in the room, but if my name isn't in the police report for doing anything to anybody,
right,
and one of the people that also was in the room got cleared, I should have got cleared. So that was my whole basis of it. And then when I actually did get cleared, which I'm also put something out there too. So our conference tournament ended on Monday. Like they defined the champion on Monday. On Tuesday, allegedly, I was cleared from the case.
So after everything, all right, the season's over. Now you clear.
Right. But
Nonsense.
so on my end, you know what I'm saying? That's like I had a lawyer in place because I was trying to figure out why I wasn't playing, right? And so they call the I think the Missouri State Police Department, and they're like, yeah, like he never was really in the case. Like his name just came up. And so when they got that information and I relayed it to the school, they were quick to, put releases out. Oh, 3 Missouri players have been taken out of the team because of this. But when I give you information saying, well, my name hasn't been cleared or my name hasn't been like thrown across the mud or like further accusations, like I'm cleared from all these, I'm saying, whatever I'm in.
Yeah.
Why haven't y'all put anything else out? And so they didn't do that. And I felt like it was kind of disrespectful on my end. So I put out my own press release to talk to the people out there, give it all the information saying that I was cleared. And then once I did that, then they were kind of replied. So like I didn't have that trust factor right there that they would have my back in those type of situations. Okay. And then twofold, I was expecting the baby also on the way. And so with that information, I really wanted to put my family in the best situation possible with having a new child. And I knew like I could have went pro. I had like when I opened up my recruitment, I had Clemson. It was either them or Towson with like my with the Tigers playing on like Clemson Tigers, Towson Tigers. But I opened it up and like for me, I really wanted to go home because she's from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. I wanted to have that atmosphere. And me and Scary, we've had relationships since I was coming out of college. Coming out of high school, 10th grade year, he was recruiting me. He used to be at my games. Every time I opened up my recruitment, he'd hit me up. But this time I actually reached out to him and I told him like, Coach, like I want to come to Towson. Like y'all got a spot. Like let's make something happen. And then sure enough, he was like, okay, like we'll talk after the season. And I watched them and they didn't have a point guard at all. Like they didn't have no structure on the team. They didn't have nobody to put people in position. They didn't have that. And so I knew what role that I was going to come in automatically to help the team. And I kind of like told him that. And he was like, once you told me that you wanted me to come, I was going to make roster spots anyway. Now that you telling me what you're going to bring, let's do it. So that was my kind of two factors in going on.
All right.
Yeah.
So you you graduated. You got your degree from Bradley.
Yes, sir. Got my degree in Bradley. Public relations and advertising.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was big. That was big. So you did get your college. You got a bachelor's degree. So you transferred to Towson.
Yep. My grad year.
So your grad year. What's that transition? You coming home, you're back in familiar territory.
Right.
You're ready to be a dad for the first time. What is that transition like? And how old were you at that point? You're not a little kid no more, either. You're 20-something years old.
I'm 24 right now. I think I was 22. Yeah, I was 22 at that time. Yeah, so I was about to turn 22. Yeah, so for me, it was one like I'm the type of person, I know how to adapt and I understand, like I know how to plan out situations. So for me, I'm like, all right, if I got a baby, I know I gotta have money to save up for this child. But at the same time, I gotta be an athlete. So when you're Division I, they give you money, but I need an extra income. So for me, my mentality was with the team, one, I understand where y'all lack. Like for us to really win something, I gotta put everybody in the best situation as much as possible. I gotta uplift the big man. I gotta make sure my shooters are getting touches. I just knew the role that I had to play to like really uplift the whole team and put people in places. So that was my whole thing. And then establishing that culture of like working hard, making that the normal, holding people accountable, like teaching, correcting, yelling at guys when they need to get yelled at. But also if I'm messing up, people yelling at me, like I built that kind of culture from day one because I understood that's what's going to help us to win. And then two, like money wise, I had to work. So I had like 3 jobs in the summer while going to practice. I was training kids in the summer. I worked at Advanced Auto Parts. I was a waiter at one of the local pubs around here, one of the bars. So I was doing, and I was working as like a TMS technician. Like I was doing stuff with like neuroscience. So I was just all over the place. But those are my main 2 focuses: stack some money and then help the team out.
All right. So you get into that year at Towson. So going into the season,
Yeah.
what was the expectations for the team?
For me, it was win big. Like I knew if I was coming home, I didn't. I knew how I left home when I was in the championship, and I just needed something like that. I needed something to further say, okay, yeah, I'm from Baltimore. I have a legacy here. So for me, it was either get to the tournament, win the champ, like it was win something. You know what I'm saying? Get hung up on the banners.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was the mentality from day one. I think everybody understood it, and that's kind of how we came out from literally game one on that tear.
Yeah.
So,
And y'all had a decent season. So
mm-hmm.
y'all finished first in the was it first or second
First
in
of
the
the
regular season?
regular season, best season in Towson history.
Yeah, I remember. And then kind of fell short in the tournament.
Yep, lost to Delaware, the same team that we beat to get that first place spot for regular season. Lost to
Yeah,
them in the semifinals
yeah, I
in
remember
that conference
watching that
tournament.
game. Tough L,
Yeah,
tough way to end your career.
yeah.
You know, but overall,
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel about your college career? You had the fortunate or unfortunate. You had to play at
Mm-hmm.
three different schools.
Right.
You bounced around a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but you were a factor everywhere you went.
Yeah.
You weren't one of them guys that just looking to go somewhere to get more playing time. I mean, you
Right.
were a key factor everywhere
Mm-hmm.
you were. So it wasn't like, you was leaving just to better your situation.
Right.
You probably could have stayed at every one of the stops you were in the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and made those work.
Yeah.
So when you look at your overall career, how do you feel about that?
I feel great about it. Like you said, I played at three different universities, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of rare. So I got to experience different cultures, different atmospheres, got the experience with different coaches. But like you said, every place I played at, I was a factor at. And I think for me, knowing that any place that you can go to, any coaches that I had in college, they can say, yeah, I would take that player again.
Yeah.
So like having that satisfaction from all over across the board was good for me. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a learning experience. It really like college really helped develop me and prepare me to the man I am today. So it was great for me.
Yeah, definitely, man. And
Mm-hmm.
I except for Bradley, and
Yeah.
then with the distance, I was able to see you, up close and personal at each of the
Mm-hmm.
stops, and watch a few of the Bradley games on
Yeah.
TV. So I've been there, right there with you, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from the Boys and Girls Club
Right.
to James McHenry.
Yeah.
I think I even caught a couple Walter P games,
Yeah.
along the way. So I caught you at least once or twice every year
Mm-hmm.
along the way.
Right.
Seeing that journey, man, seeing you go from that little 9, 10-year-old kid
Yeah.
I seen with the little head fake and bouncing two dribbles to the rim, you know. Um, Definitely, man, it's been a pleasure,
Yes.
watching you grow, watching you, mature. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, you were just a little kid when I first met you.
Right.
And a kid, you were a kid. You were silly, what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You make me want to wring your neck sometimes in the gym. Like if you start acting right, you know. But to see you now, and you're a dad now,
Right.
Father's Day is upcoming,
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of fathers,
Yeah.
you and your dad have a hell of a relationship, man.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad was been right there with you.
Right.
Your biggest cheerleader at the games.
Yeah.
Your biggest supporter, man.
Mm-hmm.
What does your dad mean to you in your journey, man, to where you are today from
Right.
a little kid?
And my dad mean everything, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know along this journey, we didn't come from much, but he
Mm-hmm.
made sure that no matter what, I had this goal and he seen it out and he just made sure I had everything necessary to make sure that I would achieve my goals, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so every step along the way, like you said, he's seen a development from when I started playing there all the way to Portugal. And I can say, no matter except for the Bradley game during COVID, he's been at every one of my games, no matter where I've played at, traveled across the world. But not only that, he is the father figure that he's not going to try to impose his will on me. He's willing to allow me to go through mistakes, but
Mm-hmm.
also be there for me, nurture me through those mistakes, help me as a man because he didn't necessarily have that. So he wanted to make sure that I had that. And he
Yeah.
definitely did. Like he, what I'm saying, instilled some principles in me to this day that without them, I probably don't know where I would be at. So man, my dad mean everything to me. That's my guy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And
Mm-hmm.
just, being able to see that relationship, from my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
just from the coach, the guy, I'm on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know I'm a father. You know my kids, so
Right.
you know what I mean. You've been around, so it means a lot
Mm-hmm.
when I see dads involved. You know, especially black dads, because
Yeah.
black dads get such a bad stigma put on them that we're not involved and we don't do this.
Right.
And I'm like, you know, I've been around some great dads. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Coach Dean,
Yeah.
you know, with his boys, and your dad, you know, and me with mine, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just a lot, man, that I've
Mm-hmm.
got to see up close and personal, kind of defeat them odds and
Yeah.
go against the stereotype and go against the grain, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, I've seen your father, you know, support you no matter where you were going,
Yeah.
no matter who you were going with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was going to figure it out. He's going to make a way.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I've been around basketball for a long time, and I know when you playing at that level,
Mm-hmm.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that stuff
Not
get
at all.
expensive.
Right.
The traveling, the just all the stuff that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the snakes in the grass. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? People trying to say whatever about you, or trying to take advantage of you, or people just
Mm-hmm.
trying to derail your progress. People
Yeah.
that's hating on you. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So I know y'all seen all of that. But again, man, I just watched the support. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, man, he would call me sometimes, man,
Yeah.
whenever something didn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Or he would call me, and
Yeah.
he'd call me up and say, like, man, what you think?
Right.
So just the fact that he trusted me,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, with certain things, with little personal stuff, it said a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all guys have always told me, been appreciative of what I did for you.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I did what I was supposed to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I could have been selfish
Mm-hmm.
and like, nah, this my kid. We on my team. Like,
Yeah.
nah, man. If I did that, you might be working at Target somewhere
Right.
right now. You know what I mean? Talking about what could
Mm-hmm.
have been.
Yeah, and I
Or you
think
know what
I
I mean?
think that's why that relationship is what it is, because we already understood you could have done that.
Yeah.
Like, you was looking out for the betterment of myself. So
Absolutely.
I always looked at you as family. You know what I'm saying? We locked
Absolutely.
in.
Absolutely. It's been past coach
Yeah.
and player, man. We've been like, you another nephew for real.
Right.
You and D Young,
Mm-hmm.
that's my blood nephew, but
Yeah.
you just like family too. You've been at the family events, been on vacations with us and all that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely bigger than coach and player, man. But
Right.
we getting up on that hour for
Mm-hmm.
the second hour, so we definitely gonna have to come back.
Yeah.
Before you home, you pretty much home for the summer.
Yep.
So we'll squeeze it in,
Mm-hmm.
get Coach Dean up on here.
Yeah.
And we'll come back, talk about some basketball, man. Like, just talk about the game, how the game is now,
Mm-hmm.
Versus how us old folks played it,
Yeah.
inside out. Definitely, and I'm gonna have to get you down to the gym again too.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to get you down to the gym again with the kids, man.
Mm-hmm.
Look, my son Kenny talking about cut it out. I got him tearing up. Yeah, so we definitely, man, gotta do this again. But I appreciate you.
Always.
It's always love, man. Respect.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Just keep grinding, man. Keep doing what you do.
Sir.
And what you now? 23, 24?
24. Yeah.
Yeah, play basketball as long as you can play it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not playing professionally and nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get to the YMCA,
Yeah.
play as long as you can play.
Yeah.
And when the body start to go,
That's it.
I wish I could still go. I wish I could still get up down, man. But play as long as you can play, man.
Yeah.
Do what you can do. But thank you for coming on.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? We'll reach out, we'll get you back on.
Back.
Talk some more.
Yeah.
With my guy T Nolan, man.
Sir, appreciate you for having me.
One love, my brother.
Yeah.
Till we do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
All right, peace.